Hello to anyone who's watching. Today I'm going to talk about Klenty, yet another one of our competitors. And may I just quickly say that I was really reluctant to do an analysis over Klenty because they really annoyed me with their marketing campaign they had. So they used our name, reply, and once you type in reply, the first link was actually Klenty, and it said better than reply. And I found this marketing really disgraceful, so I was very prejudiced about them. But here I am doing this little competitor analysis, and I did find some good things about their product that I would like to share with you guys. Oops. So first, I really like that when I was setting up my account in Klenty, the first thing is that they ask me about my CRM, and this is a very good idea for promoting the CRMs they have and to make sure that people notice and that people use it, because it's not always as obvious, and this way it certainly catches the attention and you certainly already see what's possible, and you're more prompted to start with the integration right away. Another thing that I really liked about their UX is that when you're waiting for something, like here I was uploading a CSV file, and when you're waiting for something to happen, they give you some tips so you can just read and learn something interesting and find something new. This is very cool because people don't generally go to the support articles and look up information unless something is not working already. And this way, this is like short information that can be very useful, and then they're gonna spend their time reading it because they're waiting for something. So this is it's a good way to occupy the time that they would otherwise waste. Another thing that I liked is the what's next button. So here I just uploaded prospects to my main people page, and they already suggested me what to do next. And we do have this wizard while creating a sequence, but we don't have it all around the platform for leads or for new users. So basically, if I would upload a contact to the people page, it wouldn't suggest me what to do with it then. So this way, I think it's a good push to get people started. This is something I have already mentioned in my review of Outreach. I like the import history little page here, first of all, because I think this is important for big companies, and also here it's missing, or maybe it's not shown because I'm a single user, but to see who uploaded what. This is, I think, very important, and to be able to see to which sequence they went or something like this. Because when a big company is working with cold outreach, sometimes it's going to be just one person who's responsible for gathering leads and, for instance, uploading them to the sequence, and then 5 SDRs, let's say, work with these lists from then on. So it's good to have an overview, what has happened, what has been important, and especially because in our case, we have the search for the import file name, and of course you have to remember that import file name then, and and here you can actually find it pretty cool and easy. So I like the idea of import history. What I really get excited about, very banal stuff, but that is very useful and that is handy. And one of those things that I find very useful is handy is an integration with Google Sheets. It was really flawless. You just create a sheet and the people get transferred right away, and then you can, for instance, pull this little toggle on, and it's gonna auto import every time you add a prospect to this Google Sheet. It will auto add to Klenty. This is very helpful, I think, because I personally work with Google Sheets all the time. I don't really use my desktop tables wherever, so I think this was very smooth and cool. This direct integration with Google Sheets. I know that we have it through Zapier. The same thing more or less could happen, but it's way more pleasant and it's way more easy, and it doesn't cost API calls to do this like this. So I would really want to implement that. And another thing, it's a small one, it's a little thing, but I find it very cool. It's a sequence in the step, and it's clear here that next step 3, will only take place if the call is marked as complete. And we do have these like tasks handling and calls handling sections in our settings, but again, they're not as obvious. And when I was still working in support, I got really many requests from users like, why is my step 3 is not sending? Okay, well, because you have tasks pending, and like, yeah, but I thought that it's just gonna go by itself if I didn't complete the tasks. No, you didn't. Here's the settings, so now you have to complete, la la la. A lot of explanation. And here it is like when you're creating the sequence, you're right away aware that the step 3 will only take place if the previous step is marked as complete. So I found it very good user experience to know it on beforehand and to see it right away, rather than going to the settings of the sequence and discovering it there. And another one, echo from my support days. I find it also very good idea to show people how many emails they could send possibly during the delivery window. And it's been a very frequent request, like, if I have a schedule from 9 till 11 and then from 2 till 4, how many mails will it be possible to get out? Yeah, and then you have to calculate it on a calculator or in your mind, and then you have to take into account the delay between each email sent and this and that. So a lot of work. And here it is really cool that they calculate it for you, and then you can see, so in this time frame I can only send this many emails, and I need to send out, let's say, 500 emails. So I probably need to go to settings and decrease this or that. So you have this Y here. This I think would have saved a lot of time for me as a support agent back in the day, just to have this estimation here. Another thing that I really liked is this little Outbox thing. Also, I have noticed that our users don't use Outbox that well, and it honestly doesn't always work that well. And in order to get to the breakdown like this, you have to first regenerate the Outbox. Second, click on the email account from which the sequence is sent. Third, click on the name of the sequence. Fourth, click on the necessary step, and then, only then, so I counted 8 clicks, and only then you will be able to see something like this. While here, you can see right away in how much time the next step is approaching, and it's quite useful, I think, especially when you want to plan out other activities. Maybe you want to create a task for this user, and you want to make sure that it's, for instance, this task is far enough from the step, like, so in 15 hours, so maybe, okay, I will not create this task yet, I will create it on Friday, yeah? So the idea that this here will also answer a lot of questions that I had to answer as a support agent back in the day, so I find it very cool. And here's one I have also mentioned while doing other reviews, is the ability to add custom fields for the user. So for instance, if we take William, our SDR, yeah, he can just say, for instance, specialization, and his specialization would be, I don't know, LinkedIn automation, and he can say, like, I can help you with specialization, and then it's going to be this value, and someone else can say something else, yeah, phone outreach, whatever. You can create you can personalize yourself as a person who is doing the outreach as much as possible. And I think this is very useful. Well, firstly, because the more you personalize yourself, the more you seem like a human to the person you are outreaching to, not like a robot or some faceless SDR. So I really think that would be cool to be able to add these customizations features for the sender, not only for the receiver. And one more that actually has been risen recently by Oleg, about notifications. I think this is a very good idea to send maybe desktop or browser notifications when someone clicks on an email or opens or replies. It is important to act. When someone interacts with your outreach, it is important to act right away while they're still interested. So that would be very cool to send those notifications. And also, like, the more time they spend on reply on our platform, the more accustomed they get used to it, and generally it's a win-win for everyone. So it would be a good idea to send browser notifications and or to have an integration with Slack. This was also a good idea. I know many people just out of my personal circle who use Slack all the time, and then for them, for instance, it would be even more useful to have a notification in Slack than a browser notification. But either or is a good idea to make sure that the person, that our user, acts when their prospects are interacting with them. And here is also a cherry on the top of the little Klenty cake. I did this analysis for Klenty, particularly because Jackie told me that some users said that they really liked integration of Pipedrive, and then we should take a look and maybe, well, I don't know, get inspired, let's put it like this. So I did this whole analysis just to see really how good their Pipedrive integration is, and I must say that it's pretty good. This doesn't do it justice, so I will show it to you here in the account I created. So, okay, scrolling is challenging with this thing popping up. Okay, well, the basic fields here are pretty general. Name, organization, phone, email, nothing too crazy. But what is pretty cool is that they have different triggers here, like email sent, email opened, link clicked, first reply, consecutive reply, and you have a possibility to choose like what outcome it will be. So it can be for the person, and it's going to be for the deal, and I think for the person and for the deal. And if you, like, for instance, create a deal, you have to select pipeline, create, select pipeline. And to me, this is really cool because it especially that we are going to work with accounts and then we're going to implement accounts. For instance, we have that like 5 people, let's say, from one organization clicked on a link or opened the email, and then you can safely say that their deal should move to the next stage because they have shown some interest, let's say, so I find this pretty cool. And they also have what we are yet lacking, but hopefully we'll have soon, the tasks and the calls, and created and updated, and based on this you can also do the same sets of activities. And also something we're missing and should have is the Calendly integration, and based on the sorry, it's tricky with this thing here. So if you enable, well, I don't have a Calendly integration, of course, here set up, but you can also do many actions based on the meetings booked, and I think this is really hot, and this is what people need, and this covers all kinds of outreach, all possible interactions, and it is way more comprehensive and like more full, I would say, than our current integration. And I must say that this is good job, Klenty. This is good job, Klenty. Okay. And what I also liked about their product is that it's really clean and clear. Like, I went to settings and it was like these blocks, separated blocks, good to everything listed here, so I know what to look for. very intuitive, very good settings. It's hard to make good settings because you need a lot of you need to put in a lot of information on one page, and it usually looks messy, and this actually looks really good. Unlike Outreach, before Klenty I was doing an analysis of Outreach, and oh boy, settings is like the worst part of Outreach ever. Gets you feeling stupid and lost. Okay, and the only thing that I completely didn't like in Klenty is tasks. So they're very plain and banal. They are not automated whatsoever. You just select a date, add a prospect, and write down what you want to do, and then you have to do it however you want. So it's if they want to make any profit out of it, of the tasks themselves, they definitely need to work on it, because it's just it's very primitive, I would say. And okay, I don't think I have active prospects, but yeah, so it's not automated. It's not in any way like nicely done. It's all the same. So for instance, whatever task I'm making, it's gonna look the same way. Not really, nothing special, and rather limiting. Yeah, and then let's see what the users said about Klenty. So what they really liked is the support, that it's easy to use. I agree with that. That it's affordable. I even read one review of the client that went from Reply to Klenty because he found that for the value they offer, they ask little money compared to Reply. So he went to Klenty money-wise, yeah. And also the stability of the tool. I read several reviews that it doesn't have many bugs, it doesn't get down often, things like this. So this is something that users appreciated. And what they didn't like is that Klenty doesn't work well on the mobile devices. Yeah, I guess there is some future to it, to develop this sales engagement platform more on mobile devices, just based on the fact how many people work from home or on trips and whatever, and you can just check if everything is fine, and you want to make sure that the layout is nice and that you can see actually what's going on. So I get it. And here is something that I was talking a lot about in my previous review of Outreach. People want to know when it's best to send emails, when it's best to do outreach. So it's important in the reporting to show them like the times where most emails are opened, most emails are replied, for instance, or links are clicked, what type of what part of the day, first of all, what days, and what steps. Yeah. So this is something I really think we should also implement in the future. And then yeah, their reporting is banal and plain and sad, nothing really to show for. Yeah, of course I don't have anything yet, but it's just like this. Yeah, very unvisual and well, plain. Well, the good thing is here that you can see it in percentages when you have something. I think it's a useful thing if you want to see it like an absolute numbers, or if you want to see percentages and you can clearly see the difference, which is something we don't clearly have yet in our reporting. What else was mentioned here? Yes, so all people that are not exactly SDRs but more like a marketing newsletter people and all, they complain that Klenty didn't support advanced HTML based templates with all kinds of pretty, designs and all. So this is something that I don't know if we should do or not. I know that Oleg is against it, and he wants to keep it plain and not automated looking. But there is certainly market for those highly HTML based templates. So this is just a choice to make, I guess. And then there was caching issues. Some people reported, but this is pretty much it. And I guess I'm done here with Klenty. I'll be glad to hear your feedback if you have any, and thanks for your attention.